So this is a good point. If you are a bourbon drinker, you don't like Scotch, but you're thinking, I want to be American still, try this out. This will blow you away. What is up, folks?
Hey guys.
Hey guys, it is Scotch for Dummies.
We're guys on the Scott
Nope.
American Single Malt journey to help you with your next American Single Malt.
Headed to Colorado.
Well, that's weird to say.
Headed to Colorado.
Stranahan's. We decided to go American Single Malt tonight because single malts are great.
Single malts are amazing.
And tonight we're going to Colorado for Stranahan's. But not just any Stranahan's. This is the sherry cask finished.
All right.
It is. I picked this up at Total Wine.
Sherry cask, yeah.
What's the ABV on this guy? I think it's
94% ABV, so 47%.
47%. I think I picked it up for around, I'm going to say $90, folks, but it's readily available. Stranahan's has been around for a while. It's well known. I would say it's probably the most popular American single malt.
Yeah, by sales, I think it is, yeah. The oldest.
It's been around for a while.
Yeah.
And they do very high quality stuff. Everything that I've tried from them has been very good. They do everything in batches. They are currently on batch 15 of the sherry. We have batch 12, which we just bought not too long ago.
Like a few months ago.
So you might want to take a look. Depending on which store you go in, you might have variation on batches, but the quality is still going to be the same.
Yeah.
And there's what, almost 6,000 bottles in this batch. So
Wow.
So that's a little bit of
Quite
stuff.
a bit, yeah.
What we know about this, 4 years old, right?
no, this is age minimum 7.
Well, 4 years old, and then they transfer it into the sherry cask.
Finish it.
Right?
So 4 years in new charred oak barrels. Everything from Stranahan starts in that new charred oak, but then you can finish it here.
And it's in sherry and PX?
Yeah, so Oloroso and PX casks. So I don't know what the mix is on the two, so I'm not sure if they're...
It's a trade secret.
Yeah, right, whatever. It's fine. I'm not going to complain about Oloroso or PX. It's totally cool with me. But we'll get some different flavor profiles depending on which one they maybe more heavily went with. The color looks good, though.
It does, nice and dark. So we are a Scotch channel, but we are really getting into American single malt. So we hope you enjoy this journey with us. Boys, are you ready to smell this?
Let's do this.
All right.
Lots of PX in that.
Oh my gosh.
So it's sweet. So it's
Oh, wow, it's sweet.
Cinnamon apples right off the gate.
100% malted barley in this. But that new oak, you get that new oak barrel in there. But then that PX is kind of
So it's
layering over it.
I mean, there's like dried fruits. There's like some rich vanillas. There's all kinds of baking spices going on in here. It is a full flavored
Wow,
nose,
this is so,
right?
it's a big, big nose. My goodness.
Yeah, so that's what I'm getting, that new caramels and vanillas from the oak.
Oh my
But
gosh.
a real sweetness, like a fresh fruit sweet, which I generally consider PX, but I don't know how much Oloroso, but Oloroso may come up in this.
Do you smell the oak? Like
I
I
do.
get like fresh
Yeah.
sawn oak in there.
Yeah.
Which is
I mean, it's like a
like
freaking fruit
prevalent,
bowl. It's
yeah.
a fruit bowl of
Fruit
like,
bowl. Interesting, yeah.
yeah, I mean, just different fruits are in there. It's crazy how much is in there. It's so
I'm getting into
so
this thing.
full. All right, to the palate.
holy cow, guys.
That's a punch of flavor.
I'm amazed that, so it had like fresh sawn oak, like
Yes.
working out in the wood shop, but then this like overwhelming fruity jammy layer that was mixed in with it.
Dude, it's like raspberry red velvet. Like just,
Oh, that's so great. That is such a right.
I feel like I need
right
a,
analysis.
I mean, it's just
I feel like I need a bib because my mouth is watering a lot.
And
Like,
it's-
are you getting that?
So it's interesting. My initial thought was there's a lot of oak in this, and that's what came through. But when you said that raspberry red velvet cake, it's like, oh yeah, there's a chocolate and that sweet fruit.
Yep.
a little
that's
bit
it
of
too.
icing, vanilla, and,
Yeah.
it's a punch. It's not like
Yeah.
I'm getting this. No, it's like have some cake. Like you're in a wedding.
I'm still tasting it.
Yeah.
Like the finish goes on forever.
Yeah. So this
Wow.
punch is higher than its ABV. It has it really punched right in that mid to late palate. Alcohol kind of enveloped me, and so that's why it's only 47%.
47, that's
but
what we're looking at?
Second palate, maybe it's better.
The nose is still just as strong as it was before. The fruit basket galore. And the oak is still there too. Wow.
man, that's just a really, really nice glass. I thought that I would lose
Let's
little
go, America.
I thought I'd lose a little bit on the palate once I went to the second sip, because you know how it works, right? Like you get punched in the face, and then by the second sip, you're like, oh, well, everything's calmed down and it's fine. But it's still a really big whiskey,
I feel like we should have an eagle flying through right now.
right?
I mean,
Dude,
this is amazing. I got it. It's happening.
I wouldn't even be paying attention to the eagle.
Good Lord, that is good.
Yeah, this is a bold whiskey. It definitely comes out with high potency of flavor. Water is probably going to make it great.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's a tricky one
it's
to go
kind of
through.
like having like it's a terrible analogy, but like black coffee, then putting some milk in it. Like it's so bold and rich right now. It's like I'm not sure if it needs water, but it might. It's gonna open up. You know it is.
I love it.
I will say it's almost too much for me right now.
You love black coffee. So.
I am here for this whiskey. It is.
Is it too sweet?
Is it too? It's almost a little bit.
That's where I'm struggling with.
Here's what I think, because for me at least, the oak is kind of like a neutral party in this, and it kind of balances out for me the overwhelming sweetness. Like half the palate is taken up by the oak, so it doesn't come across as like this like punch in the face sherry bomb. Yeah,
The water is great. I agree, because now I'm getting kind of I haven't tasted it after the water, but I'm getting kind of a bitter black tea on the finish. So it really does have that sweet, and then oak, and then vanilla caramel moving into dark bitterness. It's kind of this transition.
Wow. Now it's absolutely perfect right now. So I would say before it was explosion of all the things we've mentioned so far with fruits and raspberry and everything else. Now it's that, but a little bit more blended. It's a little bit more concise. It's not as potent on the palate. It's very, very approachable.
I'm getting some like burnt sugar caramel notes that I wasn't getting before.
Sure.
That are really nice. Not overwhelming. The fruit's kind of tamed down. The oak kind of tamed down, and now that's kind of taking that into account. But it's wonderful whiskey.
Wow. I think I'm ready, guys.
All right, go.
That's
you like
the
this.
thing. This is
So
delicious.
$90.
$90.
47% ABV.
Okay.
This is like, I mean, if this had a little bit of like some funk or something going on, it would be a perfect whiskey. This is delicious. Everything we said, I mean, from the flavor, from the nose, the fruit basket, all the way to the palate with the raspberry velvet, etc. You can throw all kinds of things in there. It is a bomb of flavored explosions.
It's a cherry bomb.
I think right at the gate with having it need no water, it's great. The ABV is not too much, not too light. It's right there. It's very approachable. I think if it's too hot for you, it handles water even better. I think actually makes it even better altogether. For the price tag, yeah, I think it's a good price. It's well worth that as far as
really
whiskey.
tasty.
I'm struggling not to give this a 4 at this point.
Wow.
I mean, it's everything I can say about it. It's complex. It's got I'm in the 4.
All right.
All right.
It's delicious.
I'm kind of right there with you, buddy.
I don't know what else to say.
Like, to me, a whiskey has to have a complexity and a depth of flavor, and just excite me about, and I'm like thinking about our first sip and our first smell of it, and I'm like, we were all just kind of like,
punched.
holy
It
cow,
definitely
I wasn't
punched.
expecting that at all. It's really good. Even with the water, I'm like, this is just really good, well-made whiskey.
Yeah.
Like really quality stuff. And it's obvious that the stuff that they are using, the casks that they're using, they're taking a lot of care with their whiskey. They're paying attention to the details, and it shows through. I mean, it's just really good. What we say, $90? Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. It's really good, man. Like I can't not give it a 4. There's nothing I can ding it for.
We are Scotch lovers, and there's quite a few Scotch bottles that we could probably just yell at the top of our head and say, those are good. This competes with those.
I would
Absolutely.
agree. The funny thing is with that new char, the new oak barrels, this is like a child of bourbon and Scotch together, and
it's its own thing.
I will tell you, yeah, you're right. It's its own thing. It is a good blend between those, but I'm not sure it hits me on all levels, and the reason is it doesn't. It needs a little bit more time, and I don't know if it needs more time in the bottle or more time in the barrel, because it's a little bit like, here's this, and now here's this, and then now here's this, and it doesn't like marry as well.
So it's not as balanced for you.
It's not as balanced as I would normally like in a really number 4 whiskey, or 4 level whiskey.
That's fair.
It is $90 for a 7-year whiskey, which is a little high, but I would tell you that this is a bourbon drinker's intro into Scotch, because it definitely has characters of a bourbon whiskey. That oak richness or vanillas and caramels, it's much more prevalent here than it is in most Scotches. But the sherry influence and that sweetness and that black tea that you typically get in a Scotch is also here. So that's where my mind is kind of struggling and blown with what do I call this?
American single malt.
It is an American single malt,
Hallelujah.
without question.
What are you gonna give it? I know you want to give it
3.5.
high.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 because this is a really tasty whiskey.
It's good.
I would give this to anyone. Again, if you have a tasting flight, this is going to be near the end of the tasting flight because it's that premium. It's that complex. It's like you start with a
Baseline.
Blended Scotch, and then you end up with something like this, which this is that like really fine whiskey.
I think it's interesting. We're all scoring high on this because we are obviously a Scotch channel. We love malted barley whiskeys, right? We love that. Bourbon corn stuff, we appreciate it. We're just not huge fans of it. To your point of going into a bourbon lover of this, I'm like, hell no, this is a Scotch lover getting into other American single malt. Like, it's that good.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it's
like bourbon. This is a pretty big leap. I think
this is a Judgment of Paris kind of bottle, right? Where you pour it for people that don't think that American single
have no
malt
idea.
can
that's
hold
correct.
up to.
Like, American.
You know the story of
Yes.
Judgment of Paris, right?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
So this is a good point. If you are a bourbon drinker, you don't like Scotch, but you're thinking, I want to be American still, try this out. This will blow
really
you
good.
away. So guys.
It's a total wine, dude. Come on.
I'm not even going to do
Wow.
the math, but it was really great.
Yeah, I give it a 4, 4, and a 3.
3.925, something like that. It's way up there.
It's up there.
One of our best whiskeys ever.
Cheers to Stranahan's.
I can't wait for some more of this. Cheers.